Well, what's going on to the hustlers out there? It's Wednesday. Y'all already know we at the halfway point of the fantasy week. Still some planning to do. This episode about how to get dubs, who can help us get there, who heating up quietly, and who's a win you your week type of streamer. No hype, no fluff, just smart pickups, and you already know. You sleep, you beat. Hey, I'm T Will. Let's go and get to it. First up, you know what I'm saying? These guys, the opportunity is strong. They got a lot of stability in their playing time. These guys gonna help you win their week because, like I say, their opportunities are stable. First up is my dog Max Christie from the Dallas Mavericks, 8.6% rostered. He averaging 23.9 fantasy points on the season, 12.9, 3.5 reps, 2.2 assists. But he makes almost three threes a game, and he playing almost 29 minutes a game. Had 45 fantasy points against the Knicks on Martin Luther King Day. You already know he a baller, and he been a bright spot since that Luka AD trade. You know what I'm saying? With all the injuries on the Mavs, Max Christie, you can definitely grab him and start him confidently. Next up is Sam Hauser, 5.4% roster from the Boston Celtics. He only averaging 18.6 fantasy points on the season, but he averaging 8.7 points, 3.7 rebounds, 2.6 threes a game on the season. Had a 55-point fantasy game in week 13 where he had 30 points on all three-point attempts. No twos whatsoever. He averaging 33 and a half fantasy points over his last four, so he really been balling. Next up, I got Jock Landale, 6.6% roster from the Memphis Grizzlies. You know what I'm saying? He got defensive upside, averaging 24 fantasy points a game over the course of the season, 11.3 points a game, 6.3 rebounds, even 1.7 assists. Not crazy. He even making 1 3 in a game on 22.8 minutes on the season. Had a 51-point fantasy outing in his last game. He averaging 34 fantasy points. He averaged 34 fantasy points in week 13. Even averaged one block and one steal in that week as well. So he a stock guy as well. That steals and blocks for my category leagues. You know what I mean? So yeah, Zach Edey been in and out the lineup. Been hard for him to stay healthy this year. Prayers up to him that he recover as soon as possible. But hey, Jock Landale benefiting from some of that. You already know fantasy ain't just players, it's volume, games played, availability, and points earned. You already know. So that's what's going to help you get that dub with those guys. Next up, these some injury boost streamers. These guys really wasn't on your radar, but somebody in front of them went down or was hurt. Minute spike, usage bump, opportunities that came through the injury. Both of these guys from Golden State, I think everybody saw that Jimmy Butler tore the ACL. Prayers up to him for a speedy recovery, get close to 100% as possible. With him going down, though, I like DeAnthony Melton, 5.2% rostered. Like I said, Jimmy out for the rest of the season with the torn ACL. He averaging 22.2 fantasy points, 11 points, 2.7 rebounds, 1.8 assists, 1.4 steals, and 1.4 threes a game in 21 minutes a game over the season. And that was with Butler playing. You know what I'm saying? Butler injury definitely opened up some more opportunities for Melton, as well as this next guy, Moses Moody, 10.5% rostered. Same reason. Butler went down. You're going to need help from multiple positions to make up for Butler's production. You know what I'm saying? Unless they make a deal at the deadline. But Moody averaging 21.7 fantasy points on the season, 10.7 points a game, 3 rebounds, 1.5 assists, 0.8 steals, 2.2 threes made in 24.5 minutes a game over the season. He averaging 30.75 fantasy points over his last 4 games. So he getting burnt, he getting major burn, getting enough burn. And even with Butler playing. So he contributing in multiple categories. Both of those guys are worth an ad. Opportunity is the number one fantasy cheat code, as y'all already know. And we deep in the season, so we really trying to stack them dubs to get to that playoffs. My next, these guys are category streamers. You know what I'm saying? For my people that's in category leagues, make sure y'all target these guys, one who feel a specific need for you if you need to win a category. You know what I mean? 3 specialists, this double duty. I mentioned this guy earlier. You down threes, need a couple threes in a few in as little as games as possible. Sam Hauser from the Boston Celtics, like I said earlier, he 5.4% rostered. He averaging 5.7 made threes a game over his last 7 days. So he getting them up there. You know what I mean? He getting major burn at 30 minutes a game. So you could trust Sam Hauser in them category leagues. So yeah, check him out. Stock specialist that steals and blocks, wins matchups. You already know. Defense is important. I mentioned this guy earlier as well. Jock Landale, another guy double duty, 6.6% rostered. He averaged 1.5 blocks and 1 steal in his last 7 days. Bro balling. Bro really been balling. He, you know what I mean? He doing his thing. The sheet look crazy when he play. 22.8 minutes on the season. So he really ain't playing crazy amount, but he playing enough. This double duty action. He another guy. If you need assists for assist specialists, if you need 6 or 7 assists per night without many turnovers. I mentioned this guy early in the season in this same category. He's still here. Bub Carrington of the Washington Wizards, 10.7% rostered. He averaging 6.5 assists over his last 7 days. He's sharing a rock, but he averaged 4.6 assists on the season. You know what I mean? Nothing crazy, but not too shabby either, though. You know, check him out for your assist categories if you need that kind of help. He's been holding it down. He got to hold it down till Trey Young get back since they just traded for him. I saw what Trey won't get back, at least by according to ESPN, until February 19th. So, hey, that's a month of Bub Carrington, you know, given that he stay healthy. Rebound enforcers, you know, you need them rebounds, guys who crash in the glass, getting garbage points. I like this one, man. He a young bull from my Mavs, Musa Cisse, 0.7% rostered. He averaging 10.6 rebounds over his last 3 games. Even had a 41-point fantasy game. Now, I know the points don't matter to the categories, but against the Knicks, had 9 rebounds in that game. You know what I mean? Had 10 rebounds the game before that. Like I say, he averaging 10.6. Gafford is projected to come back to Thursday. You know, January was the 22nd. He is projected to come back then. But Gafford been in and out the lineup, and Cisse might be a staple with the long-term injury to AD, Lively out for the year. So the opportunity there, you know what I'm saying, for him to get some burn, you know, even for a short term, you know, if AD only out for the next few weeks or so. So you already know sometimes the category swings is the difference between playoffs and packing it on in. Next up is my stream to stay candidates. These audition pickups, you know, if they hit, they ball, they ain't leaving your roster. And if they don't do much, hey, you cut them and find somebody else. You already know. We looking for role clarity. We looking for coach trust. You know what I'm saying? We looking for efficiency. I'm gonna go back to the Bay. I'm gonna go back to the Bay because of the Jimmy Butler injury. I had Buddy Hield initially, and then I saw Kuminga ball last night. So I got both of them. These Buddy Hield stats, though. 13.6% rostered, you know, 15.4 fantasy points on the year for Buddy. But he only averaging 7.5, 2.5 rebounds, 1.4 assists, but he getting 1.5 threes a game. He's averaging 39 fantasy points over his last 2 games. That's Buddy Hield, that is. He only playing 20 minutes in those 2 games, too. So, hey, look, like I said, the injury to Jimmy opening up more opportunities for surprise fantasy production. And with Kuminga, he scored 20 last night. That was his first game, I believe, in 15 games. Had 15 DNP CDs. Did not play, coach decision. So Jonathan Kuminga, and I've been hearing a lot of trade chatter with him, though. So he might get moved, and he might go into a different situation that opens something else up. But as you already know, temporary moves can become permanent weapons if you time it right. Those managers who plan on Wednesdays and Thursdays win Saturday and Sunday. Make sure y'all checking them injury news, back-to-back schedules, 3-game weekend stretches, and that'll be 3 out of 4. So, you know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Low ownership teams with favorable matchups. And you're not grabbing players for one night. You building momentum. We're trying to get a win streak. You already know why we're here. We're here to get dubs. We're here to put the work in. So, as you know, that's your midweek hustle. You know what I'm saying? Quick, straight to the point. We ain't playing with it. Don't wait for Sunday to panic. Make your moves today. Do your thing today. And as you already know, you sleep, you beat. I'm your boy T. Will. I'll holler at y'all.